Number 1. The smallest nation causing global controversy. On the global political stage, the name Israel has never ceased to be a hot topic. Whenever conflicts in the Middle East escalate or major global upheavals occur, this nation always becomes the focal point of discussion. Despite having a population of only about 9 million people, Israel holds a unique geopolitical position that keeps it constantly under public scrutiny. Analysis from the United Nations reveals a telling statistic. More than 1/3 of resolutions concerning the region mention Israel. Despite its relatively small territory, Israel is a giant, living museum, preserving invaluable historical and religious treasures of humanity. It is the Holy Land of Jerusalem, the Temple Mount, and the Western Wall, landmarks that have shaped the faith of billions of Jewish, Christian, and Muslim believers. What is particularly remarkable is that these ancient traditions still coexist vibrantly with modern life, creating a unique blend found only in Israel. You can see monks in black robes praying devoutly at the foot of gleaming glass skyscrapers. Beyond its spiritual significance, Israel is renowned for its military strength and superior technology. It possesses one of the world's most elite armies and a thriving high-tech industry. Few know that Tel Aviv ranks among the top 5 global technology hubs, with a startup density 10 times higher than the world average. Its innovations in medicine, agriculture, and cybersecurity have made significant contributions to many nations. For example, its famous drip irrigation technology has enabled humanity to grow food crops even in the driest deserts. Israel's importance extends beyond politics and technology. It is also a place where the past and present intersect in a rare way. Religious rituals from thousands of years ago are still maintained amidst the relentless development of modern life. For tourists, Israel offers a unique experience, from pilgrimages to the Holy Land to observing Jewish customs preserved for generations. For example, on the Sabbath, when almost all business and public transport come to a complete halt to allow time for quiet reflection. It can be said that, despite its small territory, Israel's influence extends far beyond its borders. It plays a pivotal role in global fields ranging from culture, religion, and politics to science. Number 2. A history of birth tragedy. In May 1948, Israel officially declared independence, marking the birth of a modern state arose from the ashes of the Arab-Israeli War. Interestingly, this nation-building was not only based on contemporary political calculations, but also deeply rooted in ancient religious texts. Many core elements of its modern identity are directly derived from stories in the Old Testament, making its formation process unique. However, 1948 was also a tragic and fateful year for the Palestinians. Approximately 700,000 people were forced to leave their homes and villages, creating the Nakba event, or catastrophe, in many international documents. This triggered a long-lasting territorial and political conflict that extended into the 21st century. Israel was formed amidst the storms of war and massive migrations, not through the gradual development typical of nations, and this has cast a suffocating atmosphere of tension over the region for decades. The next turning point came after 1967, when the Six-Day War ended, and Israel unilaterally declared Jerusalem its permanent and indivisible capital. However, the city's status became the epicenter of deep diplomatic disagreements internationally. Most countries viewed this as an unresolved issue and remained resolute in maintaining their embassies in Tel Aviv. Only a very few countries went against this trend, most notably the diplomatic shock of 2018, when the United States, under President Donald Trump's policies, moved its embassy to Jerusalem. This bold decision triggered a wave of fierce protests at the United Nations and caused extreme tension in many regions. Jerusalem is truly one of the most complex cities on the planet, bearing the weight of thousands of years of conflict and containing sacred sites for all 3 major religions. Number 3. Small but tremendous in the Middle East. Geographically, Israel is truly just a tiny dot on the map of the Middle East, occupying less than 1/16 of the region's total area. To put it into perspective, this size is roughly equivalent to half of Lake Michigan in the United States, making it one of the smallest countries in the region. This modesty becomes even more apparent when compared to its colossal neighbors with vast territories like Saudi Arabia or Iran. However, geopolitical assessments acknowledge that Israel belongs to a group of nations whose power far exceeds its actual size, from technology and diplomacy to security strategies. Every political decision, network of relationships, or scientific initiative from Tel Aviv often creates ripple effects throughout the region and internationally. Israel also possesses one of the most advanced military forces on the planet. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, consistently ranks among the top 20 militaries globally, fueled by a defense budget exceeding 4.5% of GDP, one of the highest in the world today. The IDF has built a formidable reputation for its flexible, technologically advanced combat capabilities and its undefeated record in major wars since its founding in 1948. The mandatory military service and constant security pressure on its borders have forged soldiers with exceptional combat skills. Israeli technologies such as the Iron Dome system, drones, and urban warfare tactics have become international benchmarks. Iron Dome, in particular, calculates rocket trajectories in seconds, leading to a 90% success rate in intercepting them. Number 4. If you want to get married, you have to go abroad. Israel is a unique case on the world map, being the only country that does not recognize civil marriages performed within its borders. Here, marriage is entirely under the control of official religious authorities, regardless of whether they are Jewish, Muslim, Christian, or Druze. This means there is no room for secular weddings for couples wishing to separate their love from their faith. This religious monopoly has driven thousands of Israelis to seek solutions for marriage abroad, with Cyprus being the most ideal destination. Figures from 2022 show that over 9,000 couples chose to register their marriages in Cyprus, reflecting an ironic reality. The Israeli state refuses to perform civil marriages, but fully recognizes the legal validity of civil marriages performed overseas. This way of operating shows that faith is not only a spiritual matter, but also profoundly influences the legal system and social life here. Besides strict laws, Israel also possesses a unique social phenomenon on Yom Kippur, or the Day of Atonement, the holiest day in Judaism. This is the only day of the year when the heartbeat of the entire nation almost literally stops. When the holiday begins, all public transport comes to a standstill, shops close, and even television and radio signals are silenced. The atmosphere is so quiet that the usually noisy, dusty highways suddenly transform into giant playgrounds where children can freely ride their bikes without fear of any danger. Traffic volume drops to zero, making Israel the only place in the world where the national transportation system is frozen for religious reasons. During these 25 hours, devout believers fast and pray to purify their souls. The level of adherence to this ritual on a national scale is rare in the world, demonstrating that religion still plays a central role in Israeli social identity. Number 5. The city that received hundreds of thousands of letters to God. Jerusalem is revered as one of humanity's most special spiritual hearts, a place where sacred relics of all three major religions converge. Among them, the Western Wall plays a paramount role for Judaism and receives approximately 1 million prayer slips tucked into the crevices of the stones each year. Not only do pilgrims bring them directly, but the Israeli postal system also handles over 100,000 letters addressed specifically to God from around the world. All these slips are then collected and respectfully buried near the foot of the Mount of Olives according to tradition. Religious law dictates that items bearing the name of God must not be destroyed but preserved permanently. For the Christian community, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is the ultimate holy site, believed to be the witness to the crucifixion, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. Not far away, the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem is also a destination for millions of believers, recognized as one of the oldest continuously operating churches and designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2012. Indeed, few places on the planet have such a high concentration of religious monuments as this small strip of land. The Mount of Olives is a living testament to the long-standing Jewish heritage, with over 150,000 tombs scattered across the hillsides. Archaeological studies confirm that this area has been used as a cemetery since the time of the First Temple and has continued for thousands of years, with many ancient tombs dating back to the Middle Ages. It is considered the most coveted resting place because Jews believe that when the Messiah appears, the resurrection will begin first on this mountain. Encompassing Jerusalem is a towering system of ancient city walls, over 40 feet high and approximately 2.5 miles long, fortified by 34 sturdy watchtowers. This magnificent structure was rebuilt in the 16th century under the Ottoman dynasty of Sultan Suleiman the Great. These walls have bravely survived countless sieges and wars, from ancient Roman times to modern conflicts. It is this layer of accumulated history that has transformed Jerusalem into a city with one of the world's richest cultural and architectural depths. Number 6. Unique aspects of Israeli culture. One of Israel's most spectacular cultural achievements is the revival of the Hebrew language, bringing it back from a dead language existing only on paper to everyday life. For centuries, this language was only heard in religious ceremonies, but Eliezer ben Yehuda, revered as the father of modern Hebrew, not only compiled the first dictionary, but also imposed strict discipline within his family, forcing his son to become the first native speaker in hundreds of years. Thanks to these persistent efforts, Hebrew is now the backbone of the nation in education, government, and media. Simultaneously, Arabic has been recognized as an official language to serve the Arab community, which makes up 20% of the population, creating a distinctive urban landscape where most traffic signs are written in all three languages: Hebrew, Arabic, and English. In Jewish spiritual life, Bar Mitzvah is the most important milestone marking religious maturity. When boys turn 13 and girls turn 12, they are allowed to publicly read passages from the Torah for the first time in front of the entire community. This is a moment that affirms the child's maturity to shoulder responsibility and continue the ancestral tradition. Many families today choose to hold this ceremony at the Western Wall, creating a sacred atmosphere that attracts thousands of visitors. Another inseparable symbol is the kippah, the small headdress worn by Jewish men to show reverence for God. This item appears everywhere, from schools to prayer services, and has become an inseparable part of their identity. Even those who are not very devout wear kippahs on solemn occasions, as a humble reminder that there is always a supreme being present above human intellect and mind. Number 7. The country that created a television channel for dogs. Israel has always known how to surprise the world with its unique cultural innovations. A prime example is the creation of the first cable television channel for dogs in the United States, founded by an Israeli to help pets relax while their owners are away. This channel even uses low-frequency sounds and a color palette specifically tuned for canine vision, focusing on the two colors blue and yellow that their eyes are most sensitive to, demonstrating how Israelis skillfully integrate science and creativity into their lives. In Ashkelon, archaeologists discovered the largest ancient dog cemetery in history, containing over 1,400 Canaanite dog skeletons dating from the 5th to 4th centuries BC. Initial analyses indicate that they were buried respectfully and showed no signs of being killed, suggesting they were once kept as pets and played an important role in the community. This is truly rare archaeological evidence of the status of dogs in ancient Middle Eastern society. The close connection between religion and life in Israel permeates even the smallest details. The country's postage stamps use kosher adhesive to comply with Jewish regulations, a comprehensive policy not adopted by any other nation. The entire production process is overseen by a council of rabbis to ensure strict adherence to kosher law, with the adhesive being entirely plant-based to avoid any animal taboos. Simultaneously, Israeli banknotes are equipped with tactile metal strips that allow visually impaired individuals to accurately distinguish denominations. While tactile-assisted currency has appeared in many places, the combination of religious elements and technology to assist people with disabilities has created a unique Israeli identity. Here, spiritual beliefs and practical needs are always intertwined in community life. Number 8. Population increases tenfold in just 1 century. Israel has witnessed a miraculous population leap from a mere 86,000 in 1948 to over 10 million in 2024. This tenfold increase in less than a century is a rare phenomenon even for the fastest-growing nations. The current demographic picture comprises 73.8% Jewish, 21.1% Arab, and the remainder from other smaller communities. It is also the world's largest recipient of immigration per capita. Over 3 million people have arrived since 1948, including 1 million from the former Soviet Union and 15,000 Ethiopian Jews. Many returned through historic rescue operations such as the Magic Carpet, 1949, and Solomon Islands, 1991, where a Boeing 747 once set a world record by carrying 1,088 refugees on a single flight, creating a profound ethnic diversity. Israelis are also among the longest-living people on the planet, with an average life expectancy of 83.6 years in 2024. Specifically, men typically live to around 82 years old, while women reach nearly 85. This remarkable achievement is built on an advanced healthcare system, high vaccination rates, and a stable social environment. The country consistently ranks among the top in healthcare quality and is in the top 15% of economies with the highest average income in the world. Remarkably, this prosperity is built by a Jewish community from over 100 countries, bringing together the best from Europe, America, the Middle East, and North Africa. This powerful blend has forged a modern, multicultural society that has continuously evolved over the past 7 decades. Number 9. Scientist who was once nominated for president. One of the most fascinating historical anecdotes in Israel is the story of the physics genius Albert Einstein being offered the presidency. This unprecedented event took place in 1952, shortly after the death of the first president, Chaim Weizmann. The Israeli government extended a formal invitation to Einstein to assume the position of head of state. This clearly demonstrates the country's respect for intellect and science, to the point of being willing to entrust the highest leadership position to a theoretical physicist, even though the presidency in Israel is more symbolic and ceremonial than a position of actual power like that of a prime minister. Despite being deeply moved by the offer, Einstein decided to decline, citing his lack of the political qualities, diplomatic experience, and people management skills necessary for the role. In a lengthy letter to the Israeli government, he acknowledged his deep connection to the Jewish people, but asserted that his scientific intuition could not replace the ability to lead a nation, especially at the age of 73 with declining health. To this day, this event remains a rare case in world history, where a nation seriously considered giving the presidency to a pure scientist instead of a politician or professional military officer. Number 10. Eating rules in Israel. When it comes to Israeli cuisine, falafel is not just a street food, but has become the soul of the nation's identity. It's present everywhere, from small eateries to large markets, where crispy fried chickpea balls are often sandwiched in hot pita bread with rich tahini sauce. Another unique tradition is Puin wine, which originated in the late 19th century. The blended wines are named after bus routes, creating an interesting blend of winemaking history and urban life. Even the bottle labels mimic the colors of old buses, transforming them into vivid pieces of historical memory. For the locals, a meal would be incomplete without salad, even breakfast, a rarity in other cultures. Israeli cuisine is a harmonious blend of tradition, migration, and national identity. In daily life, tipping 10 to 15% at restaurants is essential as it's the main source of income for staff. In large cities like Tel Aviv, this can be even higher on weekends. Regarding safety, visitors must avoid unmarked natural areas due to the risk of landmines left over from past conflicts, especially in the Golan Heights, marked by distinctive yellow "Danger Minefield" signs. Finally, modest attire is mandatory when visiting sacred sites. Understanding these rules helps you appreciate the complex blend of culture, history, and the unique security situation of the area. Number 11. Israeli education surprises the world. Israel boasts the second highest percentage of its population holding a university degree globally, second only to Canada. This impressive figure reflects the nation's massive investment in intellectual capital and technology. Its universities are renowned for their core focus on research and innovation, where students are encouraged to cultivate independent thinking alongside entrepreneurial skills. A prime example is the Technion Institute of Technology, often referred to as the MIT of Israel, and a breeding ground for Nobel laureates. In fact, many prominent tech companies in Tel Aviv and Haifa originated from research projects on university campuses, creating a strong knowledge flow connecting universities and businesses. Another noteworthy feature is the religiously divided school system, with separate educational institutions for Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. This structure accurately reflects the multi-ethnic and cultural landscape of Israeli society. Besides these three main groups, there are also Haredi schools specifically for the ultra-Orthodox Jewish community, where the curriculum prioritizes religious studies, often reducing secular subjects like math or English to focus maximum time on studying the Torah. Completely different from most countries where public schools operate on a secular basis, Israel maintains an educational model closely tied to religious beliefs. Even the school week begins on Sunday, immediately after the Sabbath ends on Saturday evening. This arrangement not only aligns with traditional religious practices, but also creates a timetable different from much of the world. Number 12. The country with the most museums in the world. Israel proudly holds the world record for the highest density of museums per capita. With a network of over 280 facilities covering the arts, history, archaeology, and technology, the country demonstrates a strategic vision for investing in culture and education. In the Red Sea city of Eilat, they even operate a unique underwater museum that integrates a dining area right in the middle of the ocean. Visitors can directly observe coral reefs and marine life through reinforced glass, creating a living museum that even tourist paradises like the Maldives haven't implemented. Particularly noteworthy is the main observation deck, which is embedded 6 meters deep into the water without any supporting pillars, preserving the surrounding coral reefs intact. Located between the borders of Israel and Jordan, the Dead Sea is the lowest point on the planet, approximately 420 meters below sea level. The salt concentration here is nearly 10 times higher than in the ocean, creating a natural buoyancy that allows swimmers to float effortlessly. Scientific studies confirm that the water and mineral mud here contain unusually high levels of magnesium, calcium, and potassium, which are highly effective in treating skin and respiratory diseases. This depression was formed by tectonic shifts in the Jordan Rift Valley, one of the world's greatest fault systems. Nowhere else possesses similar characteristics, making the Dead Sea a unique geological wonder. Number 13. Building underground hospitals because of war. In Haifa, the Sami Ofer Underground Hospital stands as a testament to Israel's proactive defense mindset. Recognized as the largest underground medical facility on the planet, it boasts a capacity of up to 2,000 beds, ready to operate smoothly even in the midst of war, missile strikes, or large-scale disasters. The entire structure spans thousands of square meters underground, encased in a super-thick reinforced concrete shell capable of withstanding long-range ballistic missiles. During peacetime, it functions as a facility serving everyday civilian needs. However, when the air raid siren sounds, the entire system transforms within hours into a medical fortress, activating operating rooms, intensive care units, and emergency treatment areas at a safe depth. Deep underground lies a perfectly self-sufficient ecosystem with a filtration system to protect against biochemical agents, oxygen reserves, food storage, generators, and a separate water source, ensuring long-term isolated survival in the event of a lockdown, completely independent of the national power grid for up to 3 consecutive days. No other country has developed such a modern and large-scale underground medical system. Even countries constantly at risk of conflict like South Korea or Ukraine do not possess a similar strategic facility. This demonstrates the strategic readiness of Israel, where security thinking has permeated every aspect of social life, including the mission of saving lives. Number 14. The billion-dollar company creation machine. Not only is Israel militarily powerful, but it is also an economic giant, comfortably sitting among the top 15% of countries with the highest per capita income on the planet. The clearest evidence of this strength is its third highest number of companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange, surpassed only by the two superpowers, the United States and China. Despite its modest size, Israel has risen to become the world's second-largest technology hub after Silicon Valley, with its coastal plain densely packed with tech corporations, earning it the nickname Silicon Wadi. In terms of development efficiency, while comparable in size to European economies like Spain, Israel surpasses them in innovation. In 2023, its GDP per capita reached over $52,000, far exceeding Japan and approaching Germany's level, marking a spectacular rise after decades. Israel's title as the startup nation is built on a vibrant ecosystem with over 4,000 technology companies operating day and night. As of 2024, the country boasts 91 unicorns, leading the world in the density of billion-dollar companies per capita and attracting billions of dollars in venture capital from across the continents. Cutting-edge fields such as cybersecurity, AI, medical technology, and autonomous vehicles are flexibly transitioning from military research to civilian products. This is because most founders here come from Unit 8200, an elite military intelligence unit considered the world's most rigorous and effective startup university. The pinnacle of this success was in 2024, when Alphabet spent $23 billion to acquire Wiz, creating the largest technology deal in Israeli history and solidifying this small nation's irreplaceable position on the global innovation map. Number 15. Israel does what no one else can do. In the fight against global thirst, Israel holds the absolute top spot, recycling approximately 90% of wastewater for use in agriculture and industry. This figure is truly astonishing compared to other developed countries like Spain, which only achieves 20%, or the United States, which hasn't even reached 1%. For a country where desert covers more than half of its territory, advanced water treatment systems are the lungs that sustain life. The combination of renowned drip irrigation technology and modern filtration stations has transformed barren, rocky lands into fertile farms, producing sweet cherry tomatoes and dates exported worldwide. Currently, research centers like the Zuckerberg Institute at Ben Gurion University have become hubs for international cooperation on drought solutions, while the desalination model at the Sorek plant is being emulated by numerous nations. Another interesting paradox is that, amidst widespread deforestation, Israel is the only country in the world with more trees than it did 5 decades ago. Nationwide reforestation campaigns, combined with automated irrigation systems and soil improvement techniques, have created abundant vegetation in the heart of the desert. Since 1901, the Jewish Foundation for National Restoration, JNF, has planted over 260 million trees, laying the foundation for monumental projects such as the Yatir Forest, the largest man-made forest in the Middle East. International researchers consider it an ideal model for combating desertification, as scientists have discovered that the pine trees there have evolved a mechanism to hold their breath to survive the incredibly scarce rainfall. This achievement is vivid proof of long-term vision and sustainable environmental management in harsh climatic conditions. Number 16. Where minerals and kindness are both rare. Possessing a stunning blend of blue and turquoise hues, Eilat is a rare mineral found only in Israel, particularly in the arid southern regions. This masterpiece is formed by the spontaneous intermingling of turquoise, malachite, azurite, and chrysocolla, creating unique and unmistakable interwoven patterns. While the world boasts countless gemstone mines, Eilat proudly remains a unique geological specialty of this nation. Since ancient times, the Egyptians, Edomites, and Romans have crafted it into jewelry and amulets, a testament to its enduring cultural value spanning thousands of years. Its scarcity has made it highly sought after by collectors and jewelers. Besides its natural resources, Israel also holds a remarkable humanitarian record, the highest rate of altruistic kidney donation on the planet. Over the past 15 years, 1,775 people have volunteered to donate organs without expecting any compensation, setting a rare ethical standard. While many countries may have larger numbers of donors, Israel surpasses them in terms of individual willingness. The main impetus comes from community organizations like Matnat Chaim, which has coordinated more than half of the donations nationwide. Most volunteers are willing to give life to complete strangers, demonstrating a profound sense of social responsibility, strongly motivated by the Jewish religious philosophy that he who saves a life saves the world. Indeed, very few countries achieve such a level of dedication and selflessness. Number 17. The Cradle of Technology of the World. Thanks to its outstanding engineering team and extensive R&D network nurtured by its modern defense capabilities, Israel has risen to become a global holy grail for cybersecurity and high technology. Few realize that the core technologies used daily by giants like Apple, Intel, and Google originated in Israeli companies. For example, Intel's most advanced processor chips were actually designed primarily in the Haifa lab, not in the United States. Considering its innovation power per capita, Israel surpasses many major economies and is strong enough to compete with superpowers. This strength stems from its military intelligence units, particularly the legendary Unit 8200, often referred to as the Harvard of the tech world, specializing in training top-tier security experts to provide core personnel for the global civilian ecosystem. The dizzying pace of technological evolution has become the backbone shaping Israel's economy, defense capabilities, and social trajectory. Their influence permeates every field, from artificial intelligence and biotechnology to drones and water resource solutions. In 2023 alone, venture capital investment exceeded $10 billion, an unimaginable figure for a nation of just over 10 million people. Despite its small size, thanks to a strategy of prioritizing education and research, Israel has surpassed many larger nations, consistently allocating nearly 5% of its GDP to research and development, the highest rate in the world for many years. The future of this nation is inextricably linked to its technological boom, solidifying its position as one of the most advanced and dynamic societies on the planet.